Today we're going to be adding and subtracting integers. Adding and subtracting is pretty straightforward. Adding, we combine them, we add one to another, and then subtracting is we're finding the difference between two numbers. As far as integers go, integers are whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and their opposites, -1, -2, -3, and -4. So positive and negative, what would be whole numbers. I like to use yards on a football field to visualize what's being done when we add and subtract integers. Let's say that a team starts at a line of scrimmage, and on the first play, they gain 10 yards. So they're currently up 10. Then on the next play, the quarterback gets sacked, and they lose, let's say, 14 yards. Where are they in reference point to the original line of scrimmage? Well, this team has lost 4 more yards than they originally gained. So that means that they are currently at -4 or 4 yards behind where they started. Some people, however, look at running a play as adding some kind of yardage. So for example, the team starts out at 10, and then they're going to add, in this case, -14 yards. Well, if we add -14 yards, that means that we lost 14. So again, I end up with the 10 minus 14, just like I had before. It's just written a little differently. You can also think of integers in terms of money. If two people are going to be combining their finances into one, and one of them has debt and one has positive money, then some of that debt has to get paid off. Let's look at these two individuals. One is in debt by $5,000 and the other has positive $10,000. If they're going to be combining into one bank account, then some of that money from the $10,000 is going to have to be set aside to pay off that debt. So what's happening? The -5,000 and then 5,000 of the positive dollars are making zero together, leaving you with $5,000 left over. So you see, when we start out with one person in debt and one person with positive, you end up subtracting those values to get your final answer. If, however, they both start out in debt and you combine them together, there's no positive money to pay off the debt. What you end up with is a larger negative number. Now this could also be written as -5,000 subtract $10,000, again getting me to -$15,000. Let's apply this to our examples. So in the case of A, I have a -8 and a +9. Some of those positives and negatives are going to make zero, so I subtract and keep the sign of my larger number. For B, I have positives and negatives again. So again, I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. I've taken away one more than I had to start. Now for C, I'm taking away 8, or I have a -8, and then I'm taking another 9 away. Since my signs are the same, I combine them by adding, and I keep the sign. We can rationalize here. For part A, I had a little bit of debt and a little bit of positive money. So with some of the debt canceled out, I'm left with the leftovers of positive money. For B, I was taking away more than I had, or I have more debt than I started out with money. So I'm going to still be in debt in the end. Whereas C, if you're already in the negatives and you then take away more amounts, more money, more yards, more anything, you're going to be even further behind at -17. Writing these down as a quick reference in our notes might be helpful, that when you see combining, adding, and subtracting the same sign, you add because you have more of the same. And when you see that you have a different sign, you subtract, since the combination of negatives and positives result in 0 pairs. And 0 pairs is what I was referring to before on the main idea, where the -8 and +8 would make 0, and then I'm left with what's remaining. Example 2 is working when we have these things called double signs. So for example, in A, I have a plus -9, and we don't want to leave it as two separate signs within the same two terms. So we simplify it. What this means is since I'm adding a -9, I'm taking 9 positives away. Now I use the same rules that I had before. A -8 and a -9 gives me -17. For B, I have a double sign of minus a negative. Now, if I'm taking debt away, then really I'm adding positive money. So I end up with a positive 17. Now, C, you'll notice that I don't have a double sign. It's just a singular one. So I combine them the same way that I did in example 1. My signs are different. I subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. Again, it's going to be helpful to write some of these rules into your notebook as a reference point until you get into the habit of it. So what I mean by double signs, if I have a plus -3, that's going to change to a -3. If I have a minus -4, that's going to simplify to a +4 since I'm taking away debt. So get those into your notes before you try some problems on your own. Here's some problems for you to try on your own. Make sure you're asking yourself, are there any double signs, a positive and negative, or two negatives sitting right next to each other? If so, simplify them like we did in example 2. Once it's simplified, determine if there's the same sign being combined together to have more of the same, or different signs where there's going to be some zero pairs made. So pause the video, try, and then play and check your answers. For A, I don't have any double signs, but I have a -7 and a +10. The signs are different, so I subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. For B, again, my signs are different, but this time my larger number is a negative, giving me -3. For C, I don't have any double signs, but when I combine them, my signs are now the same, so I am keeping the sign and adding them together. For D, I have a double sign, so I want to rewrite the whole problem, -7, and then get rid of the +-10. That simplifies to a -10. Now my signs are the same. I add and keep the sign. For E, I again have a double sign, so that's -7 plus 10, giving me a +3. And for F, I do have a double sign, so I simplify it to -10, and again, that's going to give me -3.